get into we could jump into Cardi B stuff right now. I was looking at some of these videos that are up, but as you guys know, your girl Cardi B, aka the biggest 304 ever, okay, is single yet again. This girl right here, for those of you that are not familiar with her, this is her. Okay, I know a lot of you guys are not familiar with some of these celebrities, and I honestly don't blame you. You know, low IQ individuals tend to be more concerned with celebrities, and the only reason I'm even talking about her here in this case is because there's going to be a couple of life lessons here that I'm going to talk about when it comes to this woman. Okay? Ben Cleese, Marlena, Cephas, I don't even fucking know. Known professionally as Cardi B is an American rapper noted for her unfiltered public image and lyrics. Cardi B is one of the most successful female artists. From 2015 to early 2017, she gained recognition on Vine and Instagram as a cast member on VH1's Love and Hip Hop and by releasing 2 mixtapes. And as you guys know, she was married to this guy for a bit. Offset, one of the 3 from the Migos, a rap group out of the Atlanta area. And, you know, I think they had a couple kids together. And, you know, they've been having a very public feud, talking shit about each other online. Obviously, not very classy. But, you know, this is kind of what you sign up for when you get in relationships with girls like this. I got a video here. Let's see. Oh, and then she had so after they broke up, guys, just so you guys understand, after they broke up, she started dating this fucking guy named Stephon Diggs, who, from what I understand, he's a football player or something like that. Let me look here. Which is, this nigga got a strange name. This is him right here. Right, this guy. So she went ahead and started dating an NFL player right after this dude. So let's go ahead and we can check this video out first. Fuck. Bruh. Shit not work?
I'm quick, I'm top from like ball like Vince, talking dog shit when your dog got spent, and again tell you this whole I'm like yuck with it.
All right, bro. Fucking low IQ shit. Let's see if this talks about it a little bit.
Okay, you guys, now y'all know if Offset doesn't do nothing else, he's gonna be petty when it comes to Cardi B. And social media has been on fire ever since fans caught Offset being low-key shady and laughing at Cardi B's alleged breakup with her boo Stephon Diggs. So Cardi B and Stephon Diggs have been dating for at least 6 months. And these two...
And they went viral, guys, the other day because they were basically on a yacht together partying, which I'll show you this real quick. This was like a month or 2 ago, okay? This is them partying on the yacht before. So here he is talking to some girls on the yacht. I think this was in Miami when they did this shit, right? And there was a bunch of girls there. And then this nigga pulls out, I don't even know if that's Tusi or what that is. See some pink shit. I don't know what the hell's going on there. Flirting with these chicks or whatever. Okay, where the fuck? And I think it was for her birthday. No, that's another angle of the fucking Coke bullshit. Okay, here they are together at NBA game, it looks like. My guy got Tim's on with jean shirts. Is that the cool thing to do now? What the hell is going on, bro? All right. Anyway. So yeah, niggas making fun of her, right?
Seemed to be very into each other. They were very public with their relationship, not hiding anything. So fast forward to yesterday, rumors started spreading that Cardi B and Stephon Diggs were over and done after
she deleted all her pictures of him.
Cardi B deleted his pictures off of her Instagram page. Now, there was speculation as to why these two broke up. Some people were saying it's because of the cheating allegations, because let's be real, Stefan Diggs was never faithful to Cardi B. Multiple women came out about being his other woman, and he allegedly has 2 babies on the way after another woman just gave birth earlier this year. But it's also speculation going around that the reason they broke up is because Stefan didn't want to go to Disney World with Cardi B and her kids. Now, I'm not
Hey, man, W. Diggs. Yo, man.
not really believe in this one. I would have to see more evidence, but all in all, the same conclusion comes about that these two allegedly are no longer together. So the same day that people noticed that Cardi B deleted Stefan Diggs' pictures off her page, Offset ended up going live on his IG, and he was all smiles. He was playing certain songs in the background, repeating certain lyrics, and fans took this as him mocking Cardi B and Stefan Diggs' breakup. Take a look.
Hello. Yeah, Northside baby, man. Y'all niggas can't get rid of me like cancer, nigga.
And just so you guys know, this shit Cardi B would be talking shit about him, calling him a bum and a terrible dad and all this other wild shit. She'd be just like calling him out of his name on Instagram Lives, on Twitter Spaces, just spazzing, all right?
Man, you can't get rid of the cancer, you know what I mean? I'm harder than all you pussy. Fuck you talking about. All of my hoes still my hoes, that's for sure. All of my hoes still my hoes, that's for sure. Let me come to you. All of my hoes still my hoes, that's for sure. All of my.
And this is what they do. They do cryptic shit like this where they make fun of each other on social media, right? Because she's done this a few times on Instagram Live as well. So you can see that he's doing this shit back to her. The pettiness, right, between the two of them.
My hoes still my hoes, and they know they still my hoes, yeah. But the mother
Right up his alley. Now, let's not forget these two have been going through a messy divorce. Offset really didn't want to leave Cardi B, but
He was trying to get spousal support too, chat, and she lost her fucking mind when he said that he wanted spousal support. Now, from his perspective, it's not because he's broke. He said it's a strategy to ensure that he gets access to the children. At least that's what his team said, right? But she spazzed out because she makes significantly more money than he does, guys. Obviously, this girl's, very a world-renowned artist.
she got fed up with all the cheating. I mean, he even allegedly got another woman pregnant while
Look at this BBLs, bro. Surgery.
they were married. Made the woman get an abortion, and eventually Cardi B ended up calling it quits after she got fed up with being fed up. So while he's over there laughing and making jokes, the joke is really on him because he's the one who lost the woman that he really wanted. Y'all know Offset is gonna be petty for a while because he is very bitter about this breakup. Also, there's a video going around of Tia Kemp addressing Offset and his laughing. Now, just to be clear, a lot of people thought this video was new, and in response to Offset making that video, Offset even responded to this video of Tia Kemp talking about him. Now, again, this video just started making its
Watermelon Warriors in the house, bro. All right. So what's the bottom line here? I don't want to watch this fucking bullshit. Sorry, guys. I had to get you guys to understand the backstory. What's the lesson learned here? Well, guys, this is why I tell y'all, bro, that this is why it's so imperative, man, to be careful of the women that you date and the women that you take seriously. Because when you date a girl, you wife her up, you have kids with her, you're going to be stuck with that chick. And to a degree, if you, especially if you have kids. And I guess Offset, right, did this more from a career perspective but he's still going to pay the price, right? She talks shit to him crazy. She makes him look wild on the internet, says a whole bunch of things about him publicly for cheating. So for the men, the lesson is don't wife up hoes. This girl, Cardi B, used to be a stripper, okay? Women that come from the sex work world are to never, ever, ever be taken seriously, bro. Okay? And the reason for this, guys, is because women that are involved in sex work are simply not good people. All right, let me explain what I mean by this. So, when you meet a girl, right, and you hang out with her and, you're getting to know her and everything else like that, there's certain women that you're just not able to properly lead as a man. As you guys know, when you come into a relationship, it's your job to be the leader, the provider, protector, etc. But you need to be that man for the right girl. Trying to be a protector, provider, and a good husband and a good man to a woman that's a former sex worker is almost never going to work because women that are sex workers are just not good people. I said it. All right? They're just not good people. All right? They're not good. And when I mean this, that they're not good people, I mean as in they're not good people for you to get into a relationship with. Terrible. All right? Does it mean that they're evil? They're inherently, awful people? No. But they're not good people when it comes to the perspective of she's not going to properly honor you as her man. And the reason for that is because women that do sex work have to get their state of mind to a certain level that is damn near impossible to come from. Does that make sense? A woman's main commodity and her main agency is her body and her sexuality. That is her most prized possession, right? If she starts, if for her to be able to get naked in front of other men, or to have sex for money, or to basically use her most valuable asset and degrade it for monetary compensation, it takes a certain level of mindset to get to that position because it's not the norm, okay? It's not the norm. How do I know that? Because the only girls that get into sex work, whether it's OnlyFans, stripping, etc., they do it out of a place of desperation. They're not doing it from a position of they want to do it. They're doing it from a position of, oh, I am desperate. I want to make money. I want to do it. Now, this is why I have even less respect for girls like Jasmine Jafar, who were, she had her law degree or whatever the fuck. She went to law school and she's still being a slut. Like that right there, unacceptable. That's an L. Okay? That's a big L. Now, some of these women, right? Some of these women are just retarded like her and just go into sex work for no reason, not out of necessity. Rather, they do it because they're greedy. Those are the worst. But that's all of the conversation. But most of the time when women get into sex work, it's because they're broke, okay? And they're trying to make ends meet. Same thing with Cardi B. When you're struggling financially, you're having a tough time, you're going to have to do deplorable things sometimes when you do sex work to make that money and get, pay for your bills or whatever it is. So you have to get to a certain mindset. That mindset, guys, is a state where you never want to deal with women that have reached that level. Now, why? You guys are probably wondering, well, Myron, everybody has a tough life. Everyone goes through adversity. Like, why are you why are you being so difficult on this? The reason why, chat, is because women are sensitive creatures, okay? They're not like us, okay? I kind of look at women like glass, right? If you drop a cup of glass, right, and it shatters into a million pieces, even if you tried to glue it back and tape it back and all this other shit, and you poured water into it, it's always going to leak, right? It's never going to be able to hold water in the same way ever again. So when you deal with women that have had to do deplorable things like this to make money, right, so doing sex work or whatever, her innocence is gone. When a woman's innocence is gone, the glass is effectively shattered and she can no longer hold water. You know what that water is? That's her being able to respect you. That's her following your lead. That's her not being a whore. That's her being submissive and docile. That's her being innocent. All of that is gone. Okay? And no matter how much a woman represses it, she is going to get trauma from being a sex worker. I'm sure many of you guys have been in strip clubs. Strip clubs don't necessarily attract the most upstanding of individuals, if you catch my drift. A lot of criminals, degenerates, weirdos, fucking slumlords, pretty much. Okay? It's actually a big reason why I don't like strip clubs and I don't like clubs in general. Nightlife tends to attract a lot of degenerates. Now imagine being in these locations every other day or every weekend for a couple of days, meeting these strange individuals, right? And interacting with them and doing things that you might not necessarily want to do. This is why most strippers, guys, do drugs or drink alcohol when they go to work. Because no girl in her right mind wants to sit there and get naked in front of a stranger. Okay? No girl wants to do that. No little girl grows up and says, I want to be a stripper when I grow up. No. They want to be a mom. Maybe they want to go to school, get educated, whatever. But no one dreams or no one says, I want to go ahead and be a dancer. Most of the time, women do it out of necessity. No girl says, I want to be a porn star. They do it out of necessity. No girl says, I want to go ahead and be an OnlyFans star. They do it out of necessity. And laziness a lot of the times, too. So, since women have to get to this certain place mentally to be able to do this fucking deplorable work, they get a certain level of trauma where they will no longer be able to respect you. And here's the other ugly part, too, that you guys need to know. When women do sex work, right? Another very, very ugly truth that you guys need to know. They see, and I actually don't blame them for this. Actually, this part, what I'm going to say here is I actually don't blame them for this. They start to hate men. Okay? I'm going to say that again for you guys. When women do sex work, they start to resent and hate men. Why? Because when you do sex work and you're doing this shit, you're dealing with, like, a lot of the times, the lowest demographic of men that are just horn dogs and pieces of shit. Okay? You see all the worst parts of male sexuality. So a lot of these girls that do this type of work get trauma that they'll never be able to unsee. They see all the most unflattering parts of men. The worst side. Right? The perverts, the creeps, the weirdos. Some guys are into some weird shit. And as a sex worker, you see all that. I'll give you guys a scenario of what I mean by this. Some of you guys have probably already dealt with this, but imagine in a scenario where you're going out with women. Every single time you go out with women, all they do is use you for money. You never get laid. You never get actual real validation or attention. You never get respect. Every time you deal with women, they're just using you for fucking dinner. And you can never get fucking laid. Well, after a good period of time, you're going to start to resent women more than likely. You're going to naturally harbor some resentment towards them over a prolonged period of time for them abusing you in this way, right? This is precisely the level of resentment that women experience on their end when they're sex workers, okay? Does that make sense, chat? Because I really want you guys to understand this. As a man, if you were to get used by women every single day, just for dinner, you're spending $100, $200 a night, and you're not getting laid, you're not getting attention, nothing, you're going to naturally harbor resentment towards all women. Right? That feeling of being used and being angry and frustrated with the opposite gender, that's exactly how females feel when it comes to them doing sex work. Now, they're obviously not going to overtly say this because they understand that men are their clientele. So they have to kind of put on a face and do it like as if they're happy, but they're not. I promise you guys, every single one of these female porn stars, every single one of these dancers, every single one of these OnlyFans girls, they hate these motherfuckers. They hate them. This is why women that do sex work a lot of times end up hating men and they don't respect their fans. If you guys want to see something cringy, go to a porn convention and look at a female porn star as she sits there and there's a line of guys waiting to take a picture with her. I want you guys to look at her face. She's going to put on the fake smile. Hi, yeah, hi. But as soon as that motherfucker, walks up and gives her flowers like he's a fucking simp or whatever, she's going to just roll her eyes and be like, oh, get the fuck out of here. I don't need this fucking guy. Like, this guy's a weirdo. But they understand that it's a means to an end to continue to make money. So they start to resent and hate the very group of people that pay their bills. And that's how women feel in sex work, just like how you would feel if you were being used all the time. And then on top of that, it makes it very difficult for her to trust men in the future and respect men. They start to look at men as a commodity instead of an asset that could take care of them and protect them. Because they've been treated so poorly by men all throughout their life. So they harbor this resentment for a very long time, and it's very difficult for them to submit to a man and be with a man. Now, let's fast forward. Why am I telling you guys this? I'm telling you guys this because this is exactly the cloth that someone like a Cardi B is cut from. Despite the fact that she has all this money, despite the fact that she's successful, despite the fact that she's famous, she still can't get a guy to take her seriously. Why? Well, regardless of woman's status and income, whores are whores. Doesn't matter. I think Offset knew this deep down. So he never really respected her as like a real wife. Hence why he was cheating on her all the time. Now, another thing about strippers as well that they tend to be delusional about, especially ones that got money and think that they're hot, is they think that men should be loyal to them. That's another crazy part for women. They think, oh, even though I'm a sex worker and I don't deserve monogamy, I'm going to demand it. Yeah, you heard that right. Women that are in sex work feel as though they deserve monogamy no matter what. So in other words, they can behave like whores, be whores, have a whore past, but they expect the treatment of a saint. They basically make the same demands as a virgin bride, but they're whores. And this is where whoreflation comes in. Because you got girls that are hoes with a deplorable past sitting there thinking that they deserve the future of a girl who preserved herself throughout her youth. Why do we have this? We have this because we have this society where no one tells women the truth about anything. Even delusional sex workers think that they deserve a top-tier guy. She was delusional to think that this NFL player was going to take her seriously. Of course not. Of course not. But since she has money and fame, she's delusional. And people like Cardi B, guys, right? They're cooked. There is nothing worse than being a female sex worker that's rich. You're fucking air fried, bro. Air fried. Because not only are you bottom of the fucking barrel when it comes to women and it comes to pickings, but now you're bottom of the barrel, but you want top of the fucking barrel standards. So in other words, women that are sex workers write checks that they can't fucking cash. They got a 400 credit score, but they're trying to apply for a fucking Amex Platinum. That's literally what it is when it comes to girls that are 304s. It's the equivalent of a girl that's a 304 going into a bank with a 400 credit score saying, oh yeah, give me the loan because I got a nice bag. The banker's going to be like, I don't give a fuck about your bag. Your credit score's 400. I'm good. We can't take you as a client. Sayonara. But this is how women operate. Because when she was out in the real world, everyone was telling her, you got a nice bag, you'll get approved for that loan. You see where I'm coming from with this, guys? Say this again for you guys so you really understand this. We live in a world where a woman will have from a metaphor perspective, a 400 credit score and try to get a loan on $1 million house with no fucking money in the bank, going to the bank, saying, hey, I want a loan on this $1 million house, even though my credit score sucks and I have no money in the bank, but give it to me because I have this nice purse. The banker looks at her like, what?
Bombakat!
Sorry, nice purse, but that's not what qualifies you for the loan. Sorry, denied. We're good, right?
Denied.
But throughout her entire life, she's grown up and women told her and her friends, oh, don't worry about it. You can have a 400 credit score. You can have no money in the bank. You'll still get the loan. Go to the bank anyway. Bring your nicest purse. They'll really respect you for having that purse and they'll give you the loan. And she gets to the fucking bank, gets denied of the loan, and wonders why she didn't get the fucking loan. Because no one told her the truth that, hey, dumb bitch, have good practices, save your money, don't fucking spend more than you make, have some money in the bank, and then go get approved in the loan. That dumb bitch gets denied at the fucking bank. No thank you, right?
Denied.
Then another girl comes in with a good credit score, with some money in the bank. She gets approved for the loan. You want to know who that girl is? That's the girl that wasn't a whore in her 20s. That's the girl that came from a good family. That's the girl that had some fucking self-respect. That's the girl that chose to work a waitress job or work some other lower wage job when they're in college instead of stripping. That's the girl that didn't sell her soul. Now, she could go ahead and get the loan and buy her dream home. And that is the difference, my friends. We tell these dumb hoes with a 400 credit score, they deserve $1 million homes. But they don't. And they often write checks that they can't cash. So it's your job as the banker to identify the women that have shitty credit scores and no money in the bank. But the problem with a lot of you stupid niggas is you guys sit there as the banker and you still give the bitch the loan. And then you get mad when you don't get paid every month, when she's delinquent, house goes into foreclosure, and guess who eats the fucking bill? You do. Because you gave the loan, you had the parameters set, and she couldn't stick to it because she ain't have no money, and her credit score sucks. But your dumbass picked her. Why? Because she came into the bank with a nice purse. So the moral of the story is this, guys. Don't be like Offset and give loans to bitches like he did that are not qualified for the loan. Don't do it. Good credit score, money in the bank, then you give her the loan. And that is going to be your provisioning, your security, etc., your masculinity. Make women earn that shit. They need to come to the bank ready. Payment stubs and everything. If some of you guys exercise proper discretion like these banks do with these hoes, you guys would be better off.